Fern Spike, Penny Painful, Scary Reed, Arya Snark, Boba Threat, Sushi, Primeval, Damon Mistress, Milf and Cookies, Lollipop'em, Oh Hell No Kitty, Jake from Skate Farm, and Doppelganger.
Yeah, about 30 seconds left, and up on the line for the Supernovas, the Animal.
Yep, going against Starstruck for your All-Stars. All right, and we are off. And just like that, Starstruck is your lead jammer.
Yeah, fast-moving pack. The Animal makes it through for their initial pass.
All right, jam is called 1 point to nothing.
All right, Silly Goose coming out for the first time this bout, jamming for the Supernovas.
Yep, lining against Sluggernaut for the All-Stars. And Sluggernaut is your lead jammer.
All right, Silly Goose made it through initial pack. Oh.
All right, Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
Yep, Ricochet's out there for the Supernovas.
And Zippy is your lead jammer. All right, the All-Stars grabbing 4 points on that one. Score stands 9-0. 27 minutes left in this half.
Yeah, the Animals out there jamming for the Supernovas.
Yep, lining up against Starstruck for the All-Stars.
Yeah, fast-moving pack, a little bit of pressure, and the Animal calls that one off. No points for either team. Silly Goose back up there for the Supernovas.
Yep, going to get Sluggernaut for the All-Stars.
Slugger now picking up lead jammer.
All right, jam is called, but Slugs grabbing 4 points for the All-Stars.
Ricochet back up for the Supernovas.
All right, yep, going against Zippy for the All-Stars. Oh, and Zippy is your lead jammer.
All right, Cherry Springer's headed to the box for a low block.
All right, Zippy calls it. Grabbing 4 more points. Again, score stands 17-0, 24 minutes left in this half.
The Animal back out there for the Supernovas.
Yep, going to get starstruck for the All-Stars.
And the Animal takes lead jammer. All right, little bit of an apex jump there for 4 points.
All right, successful star pass for Pikes Peak. Rita is now your jammer.
Another 4 points for the Animal. Four more points for the Animal.
And 4 points for Rita. All right, jam is called. Just a friendly reminder too, if you want some merch, you got until 4 o'clock to grab some awesome merch. Obviously, we'll still have some tournament available, but if you want your Pikes Peak Roller Derby merch, you have until 4 o'clock to go hit the table. All right, Slugs lining up for the All-Stars.
Going up against Silly Goose.
All right, and Slugs is your lead jammer.
Yep, right as Sasha Degrader, the pivot for the Supernovas, goes to the box.
Four-point pass for Slugs. Another 4-point pass for Sluggernaut.
All right, right, just as the Supernovas go back to full strength, we got one going back to the box.
And just like that, too, another 4-point pass for Sluggernaut.
A successful star pass to Sasha DeGrader.
And Slugs calls it off, looking for that final tally. All right, grabbing 1 point. So,
Ricochet's jamming for the Supernovas.
All right, looks like Supernova's taking a timeout.
Looks like it might have been an official timeout.
Oh, officially it was an official timeout.
Officially.
Officially. All right, let's just pretend like nothing happened. Score stands 34-15, 20 minutes left in this half. All right, we got Zippy up for the All-Stars. And Zippy is your lead jammer. Snags a quick 3 points.
The Animal back out for the Supernovas.
Yep, going to get starstruck for the All-Stars.
All right, the pivot for the Supernovas going to the box right as the Animal gets lead jammer.
All right, star pass to Ivana. She is your new jammer for the All-Stars. Oh, Ivana going to the box for a cut. That is a power jam for the Supernovas.
The Animal picking up 4 more points, total of 16 on that run.
Woo. And just like that, score stands 37-31. 18 minutes left in this half.
Yep, team timeout for Pikes Peak.
All right, this timeout sponsored by Roller Planet. If you like what you've seen this whole weekend, check out Roller Planet on YouTube or rollerplanet.net. You can see all of our games streaming live here from the Pepsi Roller Sports Arena.
All right, Detroit Demon out there for the Supernovas. Jamming on a power jam. And Detroit Demon takes lead jammer. And picking up 4 points for the Supernovas. Supernovas pivot headed to the box. Looks like that's Silly Goose.
All right, jam is called. All right, looks like Pikes Peak was able to grab 3 points there. Score stands 40-37, only 3 points separating these two teams with 17 minutes left in this half.
Ricochet's out there jamming for the Supernovas.
Yeah, first time on the line for the All-Stars, we have Spilla. And Spilla is your lead jammer. All right, a whole heap of hot bodies there, but let's see who came up with some points.
All right, 3 points for the Supernovas.
Ooh, and All-Stars only getting 1 off that one. And just like that, we have a 1-point bout. Score stands 41-40. All right, Slugger not lining up for the All-Stars.
The Animal's out there for the Supernovas. And the Animal takes lead jammer.
Oh, and Slug's getting called. Head to the box. Power jam, Supernovas.
And 4 more points for the Animal. Looks like one of the Supernovas going to the box. Four more points for the Animal.
Oh, looks like 33 going for a multiplayer block. And just like that, Supernovas take the lead back 49-41. Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
Detroit Demons out there for the Supernovas.
And Zippy is your lead jammer. All right, ref back up, thank goodness.
Yep, just like a machine, back into action.
All right, that last one before Zippy called it up, she grabbed 2 more points. Score stands 49-43. 13 minutes left in this half.
Ricochet's jamming for the Supernovas.
Yep, going to get Starstruck for the All-Stars. It looks like we got Rita as the pivot for the All-Stars. And Starstruck is your lead jammer. All right, jam is called. Snagging 2 points, Starstruck did. Score stands 45-49. Again, right after this, we have a mixer open to all genders. Always fun. It looks like it's Pirates versus Fairies. Should be a blast. All right. Spilla lining up for the All-Stars.
Yeah, the Animal's out there for the Supernovas and picks up lead jammer. All right, finding the inside lane. 4 more points for the Animal.
All right, calls it before Spilla can get any points. All right, score stands 53-45.
Detroit Demons out there jamming for the Supernovas.
Yeah, going against Luggernaut for the All-Stars. Man, a lot of action in these packs. Some may call it action-packed.
All right, Supernova's blocker going to the box, number 33, Z Machine.
Oh, and Slug Springs. She calls it before any points are scored by either team. All right, score stands 53-45 with about 10 minutes left in this half.
The NML back out there.
All right, Rita lining up for the All-Stars. Or sorry, Rita. Zippy's lining up for the All-Stars. Oh, a lot of rumbling, stumbling going on. Zippy is your lead jammer. And the Animal jamming for the Supernovas. 4-point pass for Zippy. And she calls it. All right, Starstruck lining up for the All-Stars.
And jamming for the first time this bout, She Creature.
Ooh. Could have been a recipe for a disaster with two skaters falling at the same time. But right back on her skates, Starstruck is her lead jammer.
Excellent defense over there by Pikes Peak.
All right. Pikes Peak grabbing 4. Supernovas grabbing 1. Score stands 54-53. 8 minutes left in this half. Lineup for the All-Stars, we have Spilla.
Supernovas field the Detroit Demon.
Oh, and Spilla is your lead jammer.
Detroit Demon recycled.
Great wall set up by the Supernovas there. Spilla's managed to break it with a 4-point pass. Oh, treads the line, grabs 4 more points.
All right, successful star pass. Sasha DeGrader's now jamming for the Supernovas.
All right, Spilla calls it. Grabbing 3 more points. And just like that, score stands 64-54 with 6.5 left.
All right, team timeout called by the Supernovas.
And again, it's been a long weekend for us all, but I want to thank all of our announcers that helped both me and Mr. Slash out this weekend. Again, want to thank Tally Ho. We want to thank Kel's Inferno. Bones came down. She'll be doing one. We got Triceratops right after this one. Did we hit everybody? Yeah, again, trust me, my voice thanks each and every one of you. This time last year, I couldn't even talk, so I appreciate you. All right, getting ready to get this next started. 6:12 left in this half.
Yep, Ricochet's jamming for the Supernovas.
Yep, going to get Sluggernaut for the All-Stars. Oh, great block. But Slugs is going to the box. Power jam, Supernovas.
Yep, Ricochet taking lead jammer.
Oh, we got a fast pack. Love it. Oh, it looks like Supernova's got to go. Great move on the inside.
Ricochet calling that one off. It's like
Yeah, Slugs comes away with 3 points on that one.
yeah.
So sneaky, so sneaky. I love it. Oh, was it 4? Nice.
Yeah, 3 for Ricochet, 4
Oh
for
my
Slugs.
stars.
The Animal back out there, Supernovas.
Yep, and we got Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
All right, Silly Goose, the pivot for the Supernovas, putting in some offense.
Yeah, great pivot there. Man, both these teams very physical against each other.
Yeah, the Animal comes away with lead jammer.
All right, let's a race. Let's see what they can do. Mark it a 0. Oh, it looks like Zippy may have gotten called. Head to the box. Looks like a back block power start for the Supernovas.
Yeah, pivot in the box for the Supernovas, but Detroit Demon will be jamming. All right, Detroit Demon comes away with lead jammer.
All right, setting up the wall.
Grabbing 4 points, Detroit Demon.
All right. Detroit Demon back up, thank goodness. Folks, it's a contact sport, all right? It ain't the pro wrestling you used to watch in the 80s. These skaters are athletes, and trust me, injuries happen, so we're very thankful everybody's okay.
All right, Ricochet coming up to the line for the Supernovas.
And Starstruck lining up for the All-Stars. right, score stands 68-61, 2.5, give or take, left in this half. Starstruck lineup for the All-Stars.
Yep, looks like the NML came out for the Supernovas. And the Animal takes lead jammer. All right, 3 points for the Animal on that one.
Ooh, close one. Star almost snuck a point in there for 69 points. I'm just saying, it would have been delightful. 2 minutes remaining.
Silly Goose jamming for the Supernovas.
Yep, going to get Spilla for the All-Stars.
And Silly Goose is your lead jammer. All right, white pivot going to the box. Sasha DeGrader. That jam's called off by Silly Goose.
And Spilla snagging 4 points.
All right, no points for Silly Goose on that one.
All right, 51 seconds left. This could be the last jam of the half.
All right, the Animal breaks through, takes lead jammer.
Oh, and great 4-point pass for Slugs.
4 points for the Animal.
Another 4-point pass for Sluggernaut.
Another 4 points for the Animal. Supernovas pivot going to the box.
Four-point pass for both jammers. All right, and we are at halftime. Score stands 84-84.
Man, excellent 20 points by the NML. Slugs picking up 12 before that was called off.
At Roller Planet Marketplace, we're here for the athletes. Get the gear you need to get started, or upgrade your old equipment and play like a pro. Boots, wheels, plates, bearings, sticks, we've got it all. Plus the protection you need for hockey and speed skating. Head to rollerplanetmarketplace.net to see everything we have to offer. We're ready to take your order right now. Visit the Roller Planet Marketplace today. They push the limits with speed and precision. They live for the next lap, the next jump, the next shot, and now you can be part of their journey. Welcome to Roller Sports Collective. When you sponsor a skater, we handle everything from digital content to on-track visibility. Your brand rides with them every stride, every race, every win. This isn't just sponsorship, it's collaboration in motion. Support the next generation of roller sport athletes. Be seen, be part of the movement. Sponsor a skater today at rollersportscollective.com.
84.
Yeah, definitely ready for an action-packed second half.
Absolutely love it, love it, love it. Again, all these tournament, like for the most part, really close competitive games. And Starstruck, I'm convinced this is the one I'm going to say your name right the whole time. You wait and see. I feel it. I feel it. All right. So lining up for the All-Stars, Starstruck.
And for the Supernovas, the Animal. All right, the Animal assessed lead jammer.
All right, looks like we may get some jammer on jammer action. Oh, we got a fast pack.
All right, taking no risk. The NML calls it off. No score on that one. Silly Goose coming back out for the Supernovas.
Yep, going against Zippy Longstockings for the All-Stars.
All right, looks like Supernovas losing a blocker. Headed off to the penalty box.
And Zippy is your lead jammer. All right, mark it at 0 again. 84-84, 28 minutes left in this bout.
The Animals back up on the line.
Yep, lining up against Spilla for the All-Stars.
All right, the Animal takes lead jammer. All right, picking up 4 points, both jammers.
Yep.
And 2 more points for the NML.
And Supernova's taking a slight lead. Score stands 90-88. Starstruck lining up for the All-Stars.
And it's Silly Goose for the Supernovas. And Silly Goose takes lead jammer. All right, Detroit Demon, the pivot for Supernovas, going to the box at the same time as Silly Goose for a cut track.
And successful star pass by the All-Stars on a power jam to Cherry Springer. Four-point pass for Cherry.
Yep, She Creature headed to the box.
All right. All-Stars definitely with an advantage here.
Oh, Silly Goose squeaking through for 4 points.
Yeah, we will go the whole 2 minutes with no lead jammer.
Oh, Stumpy headed off for a directional. 4 more points for Silly Goose.
The jam is called, and just like that, Supernovas retake the lead, 98-92. Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
Ricochet's back out there for the Supernovas. One of the blockers for the Supernovas going to the box for directional.
And Zippy squeaks through as their lead jammer. Zippy grabbing a quick forward before she calls it. And with that, taking the lead back, 100-98. Woo! 23 minutes left in this bout. All right, for the All-Stars, we have Spilla lining up.
And the Animal out there for the Supernovas. Excellent offense by their pivot, and the Animal takes lead jammer. The Animal picking up 4 points. All right, forearm being assessed for the Supernovas, going to the box. The Animal lost lead is in the box.
All right, just like that, we will go the whole 2 minutes. Power Jam All-Stars with Spilla coming around. Another 4-point pass.
All right, 4 points for the Animal.
And Spilla with another 4 points. All right, 2 minutes done.
Yeah, 4 points being assessed for the Animal.
Yeah, and 2 more for Spilla, score stands 114-110. 20 minutes left in this bout. Starstruck lining up for the All-Stars.
She Creatures back out there for the Supernovas.
And Starstruck is your lead jammer.
All right, one blocker down for the Supernovas. Big hit on that one. She Creature gets recycled.
And Starstruck makes it through for a 4-point pass. Oh, it looks like we got a defensive struggle right now. But Star manages to make it through for another 4-point pass. Oh, nice pirouette there. Grabbing 4 more points on that last-ditch effort. Score stands 126-110. All-Stars with 18 minutes left in this half and this bout.
All right, team timeout called by the Supernovas.
Again, we got a mixer right after this one. Always a good time. A lot of skates we will see. They will probably never skate together. You get to actually see them. It's a co-ed kind of situation. Always a good time. Definitely some big hitting going on. And a lot of pirates. So insert pirate jokes here. It'll be a good time.
All right, just a reminder, there is an after party today at the Public House, 3104 North Nevada. If you feel so inclined, come out and have a good time.
All right, timeout over. Sluggernaut lining up for the All-Stars.
Detroit Demon out there for the Supernovas. And Detroit Demon is your lead jammer. All right, picking up 4 points and calling off that one.
Yeah, score stands 126-114. 17 minutes left in this bout. Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
The Animal out there for the Supernovas. right, Supernovas blocker going to the box.
And Zippy is your lead jammer.
All right. The Animal going to the box.
And a 4-point pass for Rita. Oh, and Zippy making it through. 4-point pass. All right, Zippy calls it off, grabbing one more point. Score stands 135-114 with 15 minutes left in this bout.
Detroit Demon back out there for the Supernovas.
Yep, going against Spilla for the All-Stars.
And lead jammer is Detroit Demon. Yep, grabbing 4 points before calling that one off.
All right, Starstruck lining up for the All-Stars.
Ricochet's out there for the Supernovas. And Ricochet is your lead jammer. She Creature headed to the box for the Supernovas. And the pivot for the Supernovas. Critical Brick going to the box. All right, Ricochet calling off that one. Looks like 4 points.
Yeah, just not seeing any initial points. All right. All right, All-Stars scoring 1 on that last-ditch effort. All right, score stands 136-122. All right, official timeout. All right, looks like an official review. All right, as soon as we hear something, we'll let you know. All right, so through deductive reasoning, Mr. Slash, we assume it's probably a point challenge since they had 2 skaters in the box. All right, some deliberation going on. Again, we got the merch table open still till 4, so if you want some Pikes Peak Roller Derby merch, it's right there for the taking. If you're looking for some Guard of the Quads, that'll be there available for a while, so make sure you hit the merch table. All right, so it looks like the All-Stars were successful and will retain it, and the score will be adjusted. Looks like they snagged an extra point, so, but again, in roller derby, every point counts. All right, I think now the debate is how many extra points. All right, so much action-packed excitement, but grabbing that extra 2 points, again, can be the difference. Score stands 138-122 with 13 minutes left in this bout. All right, Slugs lining up for the All-Stars.
Detroit Demons out there for the Supernovas. A little bit of jammer on jammer. There's only one blocker. Detroit Demon takes lead jammer.
Huge, huge. With only one blocker, absolutely.
All right, 4 points for Detroit Demon.
And 4 points for Slugs.
All right, Supernovas back to full strength. Fast moving pack.
Jam is called.
1 point for the Supernovas.
Yep, and looks like 2 for the All-Stars. All right, Spiller lining up for the All-Stars.
And the NML out there for the Supernovas.
And Spilla is your lead jammer. Oh, calls it, but it may be a tie.
Points by the NML.
Yeah, and 4 by the All-Stars. Score stands 148-130, 11 minutes left. Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
Silly Goose for the Supernovas.
All right. And Zippy is your lead jammer. All right. Trying to snag a couple points there. Let's see how many she got. Oh, grabbing 1 point there for the All-Stars. All right, a couple of questions maybe about the score and also the scoreboard time. Looks like it kind of decided to freeze itself. And we can confirm the scoreboard is full of ghosts. And I don't know who I should call. All right. One thing we love is technology. But the good news is there's one thing that's going to save humanity, and it's AI. Am I right? Yeah, it's here to help us. I mean, how else could I spell where 3 different ways? I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, chat BDD. You save lives. And I've seen The Terminator. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. So if I'm going to die, it better be a guy with a sweet, sweet catchphrase. What? All right. Guys, this is not the score, okay? But speaking of AI, I guess we did just time travel, so congratulations, everybody.
Yep. Time to start over. Scores back to 90 to 88. Just kidding.
Yeah, whoa, Doc, this is heavy. All right, I swear we only have 10 minutes left, But again, right after this, we have our mixer. Always a good time, always fun. Again, because this is a sanctioned bout, it's very important we get the correct time, correct score, because it can affect a lot of different things. All right, I've seen a lot of records, but I've never seen a jam of 65 points. Which begs the question, Mr. Slasher, what do you think the most points in one jam has to be? Probably like 50, I would assume, like 40 or 50.
I'd probably say about 40.
Yeah.
40 is an impressive jam.
All right, I think we got things squared away for the last 10 minutes. Again, if you saw how the scoreboard worked, you'd lose hair thinking about how to fix it if it goes awry. It stresses me out just thinking about it. Score stands 149-134. Truly anybody's bout right now. Slugs lining up for the All-Stars.
The Animal back out there for the Supernovas.
And Slugs is your lead jammer. All right, 0-0 on that one. 8 minutes left in this bout. We got Spilla lining up for the All-Stars.
It's silly out there.
And both teams with some heavy defense in that pack. And Spilla is your lead jammer.
All right, successful star pass to Detroit Demon. Supernova's blocker going to the box. That jam is called off.
All right, Spilla grabbing 3 points. Score stands 152-34 with about 6.5 left in this bout. Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
The Animal out there for the Supernovas.
And just like that, Zippy is your lead jammer, taking the outside. Four-point pass, Zippy. And 4 unanswered points. Score stands 156-134. 5.5 left in this bout. All right, Starstruck lining up for the All-Stars.
Detroit Demon coming to the line for the Supernovas.
And Star is your lead jammer.
All right, successful star pass by the Supernovas.
All right, Star grabs 4 points. I called. Grabbing 4 more points before then. Score 164-134. 4 minutes left in this bout. Slugs lining up for the All-Stars.
And Silly Goose out there for the Supernovas.
And Silly Goose is your lead jammers.
All right, Detroit Demon going to the box. And Supernovas Pivot going to the box, Z-Machine.
Yeah, and All-Stars with a huge blocker advantage right now.
All right, Supernovas losing another player to the box, Kim Fatal, multiplayer.
They're grabbing 4 points. Score stands 164-138. About 2 minutes remaining.
The Animal back on the line for the Supernovas.
Yep, going to get Spilla for the All-Stars. Whew, definitely getting some bruises from that one. And Spilla is your lead jammer.
All right.
Yeah, jam is called. All-Stars grabbing 1 point there.
All right, looked like the pivot for the Supernovas was going to the box. That is She Creature. Official timeout is called. 45 seconds left in this bout.
All right, looks like Supernovas did snag a point as well.
All right, timeout's over. Detroit Demon on the line. Supernovas. Psych. Official timeout.
All right, Zippy lining up for the All-Stars.
And team timeout by the Supernovas. Still 45 seconds left in this bout.
And the way this bout is going, 45 seconds could turn into 45 minutes. So let's hope. Hey, on the bright side of things, guys, Pikes Peak, 169 points. Got to say it at least once. Got to say it once. I call dibs. We got this.
I've been waiting the entire tournament.
I know. It was
right, timeout over. All right, the Animal going to the box.
And Zippy's your lead jammer. All right, 4-point pass. Milking that clock right now.
All right, looks like Zippy went to the box for a cut track. All right, 4 points for the NML. And that is it.
All right, waiting for the official score. Then we'll announce the MVPs. Whew, what a great, great bout.
All right, final score 174 to 143 in favor of Pikes Peak.
At Roller Planet Marketplace, we're here for the athletes. Get the gear you need to get started, or upgrade your old equipment and play like a pro. Boots, wheels, plates, bearings, sticks, we've got it all. Plus the protection you need for hockey and speed skating. Head to rollerplanetmarketplace.net to see everything we have to offer. We're ready to take your order right now. Visit the Roller Planet Marketplace today. They push the limits with speed and precision. They live for the next lap, the next jump, the next shot, and now you can be part of their journey. Welcome to Roller Sports Collective. When you sponsor a skater, we handle everything from digital content to on-track visibility. Your brand rides with them every stride, every race, every win. This isn't just sponsorship, it's collaboration in motion. Support the next generation of roller sport athletes. Be seen, be part of the movement. Sponsor a skater today at rollersportscollective.com.